before we come back to Twitter again, I would want to know that can you help us to understand the difference between what is a data analyst versus data scientist versus data engineer? For a layman, it's really confusing, or somebody who wants to build a career, which stream one should pick.
This was my challenge as well. Like when I was preparing and applying for the jobs, I was not sure like which jobs. I think data scientist was still fine because it's totally separate. The skill set is totally separate. But when it comes to analysis and data analysis or data analysts and data engineers, the JDs and the roles are quite similar, and the kind of work you do is also quite similar. But there are certain nuances, or like the thing is that your core responsibilities are slightly different. First, we'll start with data scientists because that's the easiest one to explain. So when it comes to data scientist, your primary responsibility is using, and like this is a 10,000 foot overview. Obviously, we are not getting into the very nuances because the roles and responsibilities totally depends on the organization, the size of the organization, and the size of the team as well. Because in bigger places, you have well-defined responsibilities. In smaller setups, you might have to do extra work. But in general, data scientists' responsibility is to take the company's data, apply their statistical and mathematical plus machine learning knowledge to extract value out of the data. To make it more simple, essentially the data science work is ML heavy, machine learning and AI heavy, algorithms heavy, maths heavy, and statistics heavy. When it comes to data analyst and data engineering, the line is slightly blurry. But if you talk about the core data engineering work, it is to take care of building data pipelines, which churns out the data from raw format to anything which is usable. So, for example, and this will also include at some places ingesting that data, right? So, for example, if you are a e-commerce website, you will have a lot of data coming in from your mobile devices. You will have a lot of data coming in from the transactional databases. So your responsibility as a data engineer is to bring all of that data and write pipelines or create pipelines to convert those data into canonical data sets, source of truth data sets, analysis data sets, so that further downstream analysis can be done. So when we talk about, and so data analysts or data analysis is a sort of extension to this, or a downstream use case to a data engineer is. So data engineering work is something which comes first. You bring in the raw data, convert that raw data to something tangible, and then and that's when data scientists and data analysts can start using your data, starts to make sense of it. So on one end, data scientists' work is more ML heavy. They will, do a lot of feature engineering. They will run different algorithms. They will see, they basically have a business problem to solve, right? That let's say we want to do personalization. So they have a business problem to solve, that how to, use this data for personalization. Whereas when you talk about analysis, the problem statement is usually like that's what my experience has been, that the problem statement is not really clear. They are doing analysis of the data. They are trying to make sense of the data. They are trying to find out the patterns in the data. So essentially, analysis is sort of, it's partially data scientists' work. It's partially data engineers' work as well, because a lot of time analysts don't have the required data themselves, but they have the skills to convert the data into the required format. So their day-to-day jobs will most likely resemble a good mix of data scientist and a data engineer. But if you talk about the generic work for a data analyst, it's making sense of the data which is there and finding patterns which can help solve the business problems, or like making sense of the data, coming up with the business problems that can be solved. So data analyst role is slightly more vague. They don't have a clear problem statement, whereas data scientists usually have a clear problem statement where they want to apply ML. So for example, a company has a problem they want to solve with ML. That's when data scientists will come in. When we talk about data analysts, usually what they have is they just have the data. They'll run some some analysis, statistical or any such analysis. They'll do the analysis and they'll try to come up with a pattern, make sense of the data, and then they'll try to see that what problems can be solved with this data. And whereas the data engineering is more of an enabler role, where they are bringing in all of the data that can be captured and that is captured, so that both scientists and analysts can do their job effectively, essentially. Right. So I hope I was able to.
Yes, perfect.